So Kiss the Rain, the second part of it. First of all, let's get into the chords. So the very first one is a D flat major. We already had that one before, and again you can play it different ways. I do like it over here to play it like this. Yep. Alright, so that's the first thing. Then afterwards we just lower down that bass, and we already had that chord again, so it is A flat over C. Over here there is a beautiful moment in your melody, so that's the reason why you want to have a little bit more blues. And just to emphasize that C, because it's somewhere between A flat and C minor. Next one, we do have a bar. When we divide, we have actually two chords. Again, we had those ones before. So the first one is B flat minor, and you can play it just the sevenths in there, so without anything added to it. And then it's an E flat, and as per always, it is our dominant, so we really want to emphasize it and we really want to stretch it out. So that's the reason why I'm always suggesting to go further down and to stretch the dominant, so it's a little bit more affirmative. Besides, it leads us back to tonic, which is our one chord, which is our A flat. And with the A flat, we can do all of those things that we've been doing before: 10th, 9th, and then it's just back to tonic. And here's that first block of those four bars that is there, but we do have a little bit more than 4 chords in here, because one of the measures does have 2 of them. And for the dominant, if you want to, you can also add something like this. Okay, so one more time. So a D flat major is the first one. A flat over C. We want to have a little bit more break. I will explain like why is it that we need that one there, because it just depends on like what goes on with your right hand. B flat minor, E flat major, there it goes, and then it's back to A flat. Now take a look what happens afterwards. We sort of like come back to the same sequence, but we change it a little bit. So the first thing, we change it right away. Instead of that D flat, we do go to a slightly different scale, and this is where we use for, we just lower that now D flat down, and then what we end up is what we call the diminished chord. And to be precise, it's going to be diminished 7. So it's almost similar to what we had before, only we just do it in here. It's such a beautiful. And then what it gives us is that after that D diminished over here, we can go to G, and it's such a beautiful way to lead up into C minor, and then afterwards to F. Over here we can have a little bit of an interest in there, so, but for example, this could be just an F, very, very simple. So, and again, since we want to emphasize those changes, it's just stop, and then it's back to what we had before, only this time instead of just having one measure with that B flat minor and E flat, sorry, we do have the full measure of just B flat minor itself. You can do anything you like about it. Back to our original melody. So then it comes back to that first part. It is very classical. It is the same as like what we have with pop songs. So you've got your first part, you've got your second part, then it's back to the first part, then it's back to the second part. So it's exactly how it develops, or what you can call that first part and second part. Verse and chorus, again, it's something that we have even inside our pop songs nowadays. So it all came from those pop songs back in the days, which has been classical music. Alright, so here it is. So basically you do have two kind of blocks of that second part. The first one starts from D flat major. The second one starts from that D diminished. We have half of the measure on that D diminished. Then it leads you to G. Then it's, you have the stops on, again, half the measure of C minor, half the measure of F minor, and then the full measure on the full bar on just B flat minor, and then E flat major. And by the way, here's the, we already mentioned, we already talked, or I always talk about the first and foremost relationship is just the fifth, yeah? So that's the most important interval there is, it's just 1 and 5. And this is exactly what he does over here, especially for the second partition of it. So take a look, that's the beauty behind it. You've got D, then afterwards go down the fifth. Where does it land it for you? You've got G, go down the fifth from G, what do you have? C, go down the fifth from C, you've got F, go down a fifth from F, B flat, and go down a fifth from B flat, we've got G, we've got E flat, and then obviously afterwards you can loop it back to our tonic and to our A flat major. Okay, so this is the main part for now, for just the second part for the left hand, because it is really important to understand like what goes on in there. All right. By the way, that going down the fifth inside the scale, so this is what we call the golden sequence. Or it's part of, at least in Russia, it is called the golden sequence. Another name of it is just the partition, or just a part of circle of the fifth inside the scale. All right, but those are the terms that we talk about. I love the name golden sequence though. But it is very predictable, and that's the reason why we do like it a lot. Okay, with your right hand, actually we'll talk about it next time. Okay, sounds good? And then afterwards we'll connect those ones, and it will lead you back to that first part that we have already covered before. So practice that left hand for now, okay? And like I said, you do have variations.